What's up, everybody? The Reds have got the perfect match after the international break. 5-0. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. There's loads of messages popping up on my phone. That was it. That was as good a performance as we've had this season, ladies and gentlemen. We wondered, would we have a difficulty afternoon at Watford after the international break? We needn't have feared, because Jurgen Klopp's boys were absolutely on it from minute one today. First comment I read is from Most, and it said, Salah is insane. If you haven't seen Mo's goal yet, ladies and gentlemen, when you watch Match of the Day tonight, or wherever it is you get your goals from, you'll see it's almost a carbon copy of the goal he scored against Manchester City. It was absolutely sensational. The performance from the boys today was second to none. So much to go through. I'm going to be going through my match reaction. I'm going to be giving you guys my player ratings, asking you for your man of the match as well. But ladies and gentlemen, as is always the case, we are being brought to you today by our friends at Surfshark. And if you don't know what Surfshark is, let me help you out. It's an app or web browser extension that allows you to browse the internet entirely anonymously and unlock the world's largest Netflix libraries, including the USA and Japan. It also keeps you entirely anonymous and secure from hackers, particularly if you're out and about on public Wi-Fi. Maybe you're in a cafe, maybe you're in college. It uses industry-leading data encryption, uncrackable data encryption, to give you the best secure VPN protocols. It's really easy to install, and one subscription can run on all of your devices. Today, delighted to say we can get you guys 83% off and 3 months free just by clicking the link in the description and using our discount code AnfieldAgenda at checkout. And I'm telling you, you won't look back. We use it for lots of stuff. We use it for DAZN. We use it for Netflix. We use it for loads of bits and pieces. I promise you, $150 a month is basically what it works out at. And if you do use a VPN, you won't do any better than Surfshark, ladies and gents. Right, Tony said, the Reds have got no money, but we'll still win the league. We are definitely going to be in the conversation come the end of the season, ladies and gents. I mean, I'm always nervous after the international break, but I needn't have been, because that was vintage. That was... fair to say that was our best performance of the season so far. I'm not exaggerating. I think that was absolutely sublime today. Mohamed Salah, scary is some of the words in the chat. That's how good he is. Shane says, wow, wow, wow. Now look, we'll break it down. We'll go through each goal and we'll talk about Jurgen Klopp's team selection. But most importantly for me today, the result is brilliant. The clean sheet is brilliant. But even on that, we get a little bit of a bonus because we got to rest Andy Robertson. We got to get Trent off early. We got to get Jimmy Milner off early. We got to let Diogo Jota fully recover before he gets to be involved. And not only that, but Bobby Firmino came in today in the centre forward role. Only went and bagged himself a hat-trick, ladies and gentlemen, with killer instincts. Anybody who says Bobby Firmino isn't a number 9, look at his 3 goals today. Look at the instinct to be in the right position at the right time, and tell me that that man is not an out-and-out goal scorer as well, because he was sensational. Sensational today. But you could pick any one of those boys today, right through from Queeveen Kelleher, all the way through to Mohamed Salah. We're back, baby. We're back. Look at this smile. Ear to fucking ear, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute pornography, said TB. Craig, I called Bobby's hat-tricks at Aiden. You did, Aiden. You did say it in the chat. I remember it earlier on. Amazing performance by the Reds, said Robert A. Watford, not a bad team, but we're made to look incompetent today. Yeah, look, I mean, it's going to be a very easy player ratings for me in this one, because nobody put in a bad shift today. I thought in midfield, we wondered how that midfield of Jordan Henderson, James Milner and Naby Keita would perform. They absolutely bossed it from minute 1 today. You know, we talked about how great we started the game. We said we need to capitalise on it. We need to get a couple of goals. We did that. And then in the second half, the lads looked hungry and they just put Watford to the sword. So, look, Claudio Ranieri has a big job to do there at Watford. A lot of time for Claudio Ranieri as a man, as a manager, proper footballing lad. Great to see him back in the Premier League, but he's a lot of work to do, ladies and gentlemen. He has a lot of work to do there. But, you know, it's not about worrying about Watford. It's about Liverpool, and we are in the title race. You know, it's early doors, I know. Early days in the season, but these lads look like a group of lads who have a point to prove, who know that last season was an anomaly and know that they are going to be there or thereabouts come next May. And, you know, could we bet against them? Should we bet against them? Why the fuck would we? Look at how good they've been today. Look, I know I'm getting carried away, but that's my job as a football fan, isn't it? To blow things out of all proportion and talk about how great these guys are. Because They were. And coming back after an international break, I was nervous with a 12:30 kickoff. I was nervous because Alisson and Fabinho were over in Madrid. I was nervous thinking, how will Bobby Firmino do coming back into the team? I was nervous going, how will Caoimhín Kelleher be in goal? All of those nerves were put at ease in the first 5 minutes of that game, because you could tell from minute one, Hendo was at it. The fullbacks were at it. Joel Matip, another sublime performance alongside Virgil Van Dijk for him. But today will be remembered, and rightly so, for the fantastic attacking intent showed by Jurgen Klopp's men, and another masterclass put on from Mohamed Salah today. Let's start off with the first goal of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It came from a goal kick. Ben Foster launched it upfield. Joel Matip won the header, but after that, it was all about Mohamed Salah's cleverness in rolling, using his body strength, and then using his momentum against Danny Rose. Drop of the shoulder, got in behind, and he played an inch perfect pass to Sadio Mane, who took a first time strike past Ben Foster and guided it into the bottom corner. Perfect start to the game, but we didn't let up. We were relentless today and we kept going. Somebody said, can we play Watford every week? No, but we did owe them one. We did owe them one, because they did take away our unbeaten record last season. Was it last season? They took it away ruthlessly. No, it was the season before, I think. Took it away ruthlessly anyway. And today, bit of payback, yes, but most importantly, about getting the 3 points on the board. How many games have we won with Kelleher in goal? I bet his percentage is high. I think it's pretty good, yeah. I don't have the numbers, to hand, but yes. Give the king 1 million a week. Give him anything, said Josh Crouch. Thank you for the super chat, Josh. Look, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of things to do. First of all, we'll talk man of the match. I will go through the player ratings in a second, but let's talk man of the match. Is there any doubt? Is there a conversation to be had? Because yes, Bobby got a hat-trick. He was sensational, but I think the guys at BT got their man of the match right today. But let me hand it over to you in the chat. Who do you think deserves the man of the match nod today, ladies and gentlemen? You can make an argument for Bobby. Of course you can. You can make a very good argument for Mohamed Salah as well. In fact, I'd go as far as to say you could make an argument for Jordan Henderson in midfield. I thought he was sensational. But surely it has to be Mo. I mean, I think it's Mo. But you go, this is a democracy. What do you guys think about it? Joanne's gone for James Milner. Bobby Firmino for Colin. Bobby for somebody else. Salah for John Hamilton. Bobby, Hendo. Good mixer in the chat. I'm seeing more Salahs than anybody else though, folks, if I'm being entirely honest with you guys. And look, it's very hard not to give it to Bobby Firmino, isn't it? Because he got a hat-trick, and a hat-trick that, I'm going to keep banging this point home, but a hat-trick that only somebody with a natural goal scorer's instincts would get. Because every single one of them Bobby Firmino goals involved timing, involved sniffing out an opportunity, and involved being in the right place at the right time. Now you can vote on man of the match. There is a poll up there now. Salah or Firmino? It's over to you guys. I'll leave that chat running. I'll leave that poll running in the background for a minute before we get into the player rating. So you guys have a chance there now in the live chat. Vote for the man of the match. Is it Salah? Is it Bobby? You decide. I'm like a pig in shit here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm smiling like a Cheshire cat. I don't even know what a Cheshire cat looks like, but apparently them fuckers smile a lot, and I'm smiling today because I'm over the moon with that performance. Salah, but you have to give it to Bobby for a hat-trick, said Aidan. Well, look, the poll is up there. You guys can vote on it. And don't forget, I'm going to take you through the next 20-25 minutes or so. But after that, at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be joined by Paddy Murphy and Chris Stonage. And we're going to have a bit of a fan panel reaction to the show and see what the guys thought about it as well. Firmino defiantly ate his Weetabix this morning. I love that comment, mate. Well played. The poll's still live there in the chat if you guys want to keep voting away. And it's Salah currently leading the man of the match poll, but we'll leave it up there for a little while longer to give you guys more of a chance to vote. Mayor Craig was man of the match, said John Dowling. Thank you. John, have you not heard the news, mate? Sincerely, I'm no longer mayor. I bought myself a title. I am now Lord Craig of Sealand. I'm not even joking with you, mate. When the paperwork arrives, I will happily show you. But yes, I'm now Lord Craig. No longer just a mere mayor, mate. I am now Lord Craig. And if it's good enough for KSI, it's good enough for me. Salah was great, but you can't argue with... what's this for? Goals and assists, said Connor. Kelleher, great performance, said Josh. Bobby, hopefully back, said Mohamed Hamza. Shimikas played really well when he came on, said Pez play. Lord Craig, said Keane. Well played, ladies and gentlemen. Well played. The vote's still up there. You guys still have a chance to vote on it. So, again, I think it's Mohamed Salah. Very hard to deny Bobby, I know. But, again, we've seen another sensational goal that we'll talk about for years to come. That is 2 games and 2 worldies in a row for the man who... there's no way they can't give him a contract. There is no way that he can't get a new contract. And it's just a matter of when, I think. Honestly, we heard reports that the club were maybe closing in on a 380 grand deal with him, and you'd have to say he is worth every single penny of that money, my friends. What a goal from Salah, said Facebook or FaceTube you book. Yeah, look, it's very similar to the goal against Manchester City, just world class. And I'll leave that vote going while I go through my player ratings in a couple of minutes. But yeah, look, it's joint for Red Cannon in the chat as well. We are less than 15 subscribers away from hitting 122,000, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't subscribed, please do take a second and hit that subscribe button. The whole of Egypt supports Liverpool, said English 001. 8 goals in 8 games, said Medat Hassan. King Mo, don't disagree with you, my man. Yes, our Egyptian king is in unbelievable form at the minute. I'll be back as well at 5 o'clock today on Craig Station to do a watch along of the Brentford game against Chelsea for anybody who wants to join me for that one. Absolutely class today, said Corin McKeown. Salah better than Drogba, proven today, said Real Dude. You're not allowed to use facts though, mate, because when we argue about opposition fans, we'll get every excuse under the sun as to why he's not as good as, let's say, Drogba, or he's not as good as Hazard, even though the stats will show that he absolutely destroys both of them and has done it in a lot less time as well. But hey, look, we'll stick to the facts and we'll let others argue about it. Salah will win the Ballon d'Or next season, said Andrew Sarabia. I think he has to be in the conversation, mate. Look, it's early days. Of course it is. Long season ahead, but our man has started like a house on fire this season. That is 7 goals up now in the Premier League. Moves him currently top of the goal scoring charts. And as you said, 100 up for Sadio Mane today as well. Not a single penalty in that 100 for Sadio Mane. So congratulations to him. I'll be there, Craig. Come on, Brentford, said WD Red. Right, let's finish up the man of the match poll so we can get into the player ratings, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, it's still Mohamed Salah with a healthy enough lead in that one. So we'll end that man of the match poll and we'll see what the numbers show. But it is closing by the second. It is closing. Who needs Messi when you've got Mo, said Kurt. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. You love to see it. You really do. Right, Crosby, end that man of the match poll for me there so we can get into the player ratings and run through and see what people think. Right, here we go. So, 614 votes. Mohamed Salah has been voted the Anfield Agenda man of the match by you guys today, beating Bobby Firmino by, I don't know how we ended up at 99% of the votes. I mean, surely there's 1% in there somewhere. But anyway, Mohamed Salah is your Anfield Agenda man of the match. Right, let's go to player ratings, ladies and gentlemen, before we get stuck into everything else and before we move towards the video of Paddy and Chris as well. Let's start off with our young Irish goalkeeper, Caoimhín Kelleher today. Very difficult one. Of all the ones we're going to go through and gauge today, Caoimhín's probably the most difficult to pick because he didn't really have a lot to do. What he did do, he did well. He made a great save that was touched onto the post. Yes, it was then flagged for offside, but Caoimhín didn't know that at the time. Another shot that he got his body behind it. Good footwork, right position, and he kept a clean sheet. So I'm going to give Caoimhín Kelleher 7.5 out of 10. Not really much for the young man to do, but let's give him a 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold, back after his illness, and he looked like he was never away. Absolutely at it from minute 1 today. And I thought both the full-backs were sensational. So I'm going to give Trent an 8 out of 10 today, ladies and gentlemen, because he looked back to his brilliant best. And I'm just looking at the goals again here, and you could watch them all day. They're so easy on the eye. Moving across to left back now, Andy Robertson, who of course played an hour of the game before he was replaced by Kostas Tsimikas. Robbo, again, bit of a stop-start start to the season for Robbo. Wasn't up to his own high standards, but slowly but surely he is starting to get back to himself. Obviously be full of confidence after a very good international break as well. 2 good wins for Scotland there. Helping them at least get a playoff probably for the World Cup in Qatar. Let's give Robbo, I don't think he was involved as much as Trent today. Now maybe I'm wrong on that one. You know, I'm going off perceptions here. So I'm going to give him a 7.5 today for Andy Robertson. Moving into the centre-back pairing. Is it fair to say that once again Matip was the more impressive of our 2 centre-backs? Not taking anything away from Big Virg, but I have to say, I thought Joel Matip was sensational today. Didn't have a lot to do, but what we did do, we did very calmly, we did very measured, and we got the job done. So yeah, I'm going to give Joel Matip a solid 8 out of 10 as well. You have a chance to vote in the chat there now. Connor's put a poll up so you can vote what you think for Joel Matip there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10, but let's see what you guys vote for in the chat. I think that he's been our best defender this season so far. And that's not taking anything away from Virgil Van Dijk, but when you're coming back after such a long time out, you're going to want somebody to help you get through those minutes. You're going to want somebody beside you to allow you to maybe only be at 70-75%. And I think Joel Matip has been the perfect partner for Van Dijk to ease his way back in the Premier League football. So you guys have voted and you gave Joel Matip a score of 7 or 8 out of 10. So we move on now to his centre-back partner, Virgil Van Dijk. What do you guys think around Van Dijk in this one? Again, as I said, I think Matip was the better of the two, but again, it's like picking which one of your kids you like. They were both excellent today. So let's see what you think about VVD. I think a little bit less than Joel Matip for me. I think Joel Matip was the better of the two today. So I'm going to give 0.5% or half a point less for me for Virgil van Dijk. So 7.5 out of 10. And I feel like an arsehole saying this because every one of those boys out there today deserve a big fat 10 because they were all exquisite. But we have to be realistic about these things and we can't be just dishing out 10s willy-nilly. So I've given my say. I've gone for a 7.5 out of 10 for Virgil van Dijk. A good solid 8 for Joel Matip. Let's see what you guys go for in the chat as well. For those coming in a little bit late, we gave Queeveen Kelleher a 7.5. We gave Trent Alexander-Arnold an 8, Andy Robertson a 7.5. Van Dijk has got, again, 77% of the Anfield agenda. Audience have voted a score of between 7 and 8 out of 10 for Virgil van Dijk. Now we move into the midfield, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to talk about our captain first of all, Jordan Henderson. A lot of questions today. How would he slip into the role that's been vacated, of course, by Fabinho, who, because of international duty, himself and Alisson weren't available for the game today. Jordan Henderson, right from the first moment of the game, set the tone in that midfield. It was a full of energy performance. It was a leadership performance, and they wrestled away the control of that midfield really early doors from Watford. And the lads came out with a statement. Midfield has been a position this season where we've been a little bit more critical than we have with the other lads because we've had a bit of an unbalanced midfield at times. You know, at the start of the season we've seen obviously young Harvey Elliott on the right, then he got injured. We've seen Curtis Jones come in. Unfortunately now Curtis Jones got injured, and today we had a makeshift midfield of Jordan Henderson, James Milner and Naby Keita. And I have to say, Hendo was sublime. A good solid 8 out of 10 for me for Jordan Henderson today. That's the Hendo that we remember. That's the leadership that we need from Jordan Henderson. The energy that we need from Jordan Henderson. And Watford just couldn't live with our midfield. He was sensational today and a proper captain's performance. So for me, I'm giving Hendo an 8 out of 10. Again, we'll wait and see what you guys think in the chat. A few shouts for 9 in there as well, which look I can understand because Hendo was... He was legit today. A 7 and 8 out of 10. 61% of the Anfield agenda audience giving Jordan Henderson a score of between 7 and 8. Let's give him the 8. He deserves the 8. Now I want to talk about Naby Keita, ladies and gentlemen, because it's fair to say Naby is... He's like a tease, let me say, ladies and gentlemen. He's like a tease. We know what we could get from Naby. We've seen the glimpses. We've seen how good he can be. And yet again today, Naby Keita showed us that he is there to be counted and he can be relied upon if he can stay fit. I've never doubted the lad's capabilities, and I've never doubted his relationship with Sadio Mane on that left-hand side. I often talk about little relationships around the pitch, and they are important. And on the left-hand side, we seem to have a lot more balance, whether it's with Curtis Jones, whether it's with Naby Keita, or whether it's with Thiago. We're very fortunate. We've got 3 good options. Today, I thought Keita was brilliant. Great tracking back, and one of his tackles today was very Virgil van Dijk-esque. Player cut inside on him. What did Naby do? Left the trailing leg back out behind him. Perfectly timed tackle. Won the ball back. He just went about his job effortlessly, and it was a very classy performance today for me. So I think he deserves to be right up there with Jordan Henderson. Look, spoiler alert, I'm going to give all the midfielders an 8 today because I think that's probably one of the best midfield performances we've had in a long time, and it was a bit of a chopped up midfield, you know, not the midfield trio that any of us would pick if we had everybody fit and available, let's be honest with ourselves. But Hendo did a great job today in the 6, and I thought Naby Keita and James Milner both provided tons of energy, so I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. But again, let's wait and see what the Anfield agenda audience say. Absolutely in unison, ladies and gents. 77% of you guys have given Naby Keita a score of 8 out of 10 as well, so well played. Now on to James Milner, the man who single-handedly today played 2 different positions. Played at played the right-hand side of midfield, and did so with aplomb. One thing that I often forget about with James Milner when I watch him play in midfield is how much he wins the ball back high up the pitch as well. We know that James Milner's tenacious. We know that Milner loves a tackle. We know he's not afraid to get stuck in. We know he's got great vision. We know he's got a good link-up play with Trent down the right-hand side. But his pressing is something that I never really give him enough credit for. And I should do, because we know what James Milner's about. We know that he's got an engine on him like the Flying Scotsman. He's just a Benjamin Button of football. I'm going to give straight 8s across the board today in midfield. That's my take on them. I thought they were all fantastic. As I said, to me, best midfield performance of the season so far. Yes, you do have to take into account the opposition. But was it a case of Watford being crap, or was it a case of we just absolutely outgunned them? And I think you could probably take a little bit of both. We worried, was there going to be a new manager bounce? Not a bit. The lads destroyed them today. And for me, that started from the midfield battle. So 8s all round for me. And again, I can't speak highly enough about that performance in midfield. I thought they were all at it today, and every single one of them can go to bed tonight knowing that they've earned that club hug. So let's wait and see what the chat does before we move on to the front three. Mr. Ibina gets an A for Captain Trinidad. Kate gives him a 9 in her chat. Robbo gets a 9 from Abdu. Let's see what the audience go. Again, 8s across the board. James Milner gets an 8 out of 10 as well. Now we move on to the sexy end of the pitch, ladies and gentlemen. We move on to the attacking trio. And let's start with our first goal scorer of the day, Sadio Mane. Now, where to start with Sadio? I think it's fair to say it's been a bit of a weird start to the season for Sadio Mane. We've been talking about his decision making at times. We've been talking about the mistakes that he's made, but we also have to give him massive credit for the goal scoring attributes that he's refound this season, because today it was one of those situations where I think he's at his best when he doesn't have time to think, Sadio. We've seen later on in the game he had an opportunity where it was squared to him by Mohamed Salah. I think it was Mo squared it to him anyway. And he tried to pick out the far corner. Again, to me, I call it Dejan Lovren syndrome. When he has time to think about it, he can often overthink. And today, I thought for that first goal, it was instinct. It was a great ball by Mohamed Salah, and Sadio tucked it away magnificently into the corner. So I was delighted with the performance of the front three today. Sadio probably going to get the lowest score of the front three, but even at that, I'm going to give him an 8.5, because I thought that he was brilliant. I thought that he was involved in a lot of good stuff going forward, always available. I think he should have squared it to Mohamed Salah, if I'm being really, really honest with you, for that opportunity that he missed, but that's me just nitpicking. He took his goal magnificently well, ran the lines really well, put himself about really well, and did a lot of stuff that there is to be admired. So I'm going to give Sadio Mane an 8.5 out of 10 today, and that just lets you know quite how highly I'm going to give the other two guys, because he's going to be my lowest of the front three. So Sadio Mane, 8.5 out of 10 today. Let's see what you guys in the chat vote for as well. And then we move on to the real contenders for man of the match, Mohamed Salah and Bobby Firmino. Mane is better than Son, said Boss in the chat. Bobby was a pressing and workhorse today, said Andre Bonacci. Salah is on something else right now, said Keegan Murphy. He is, mate. He's on his way to another golden boot by the looks of it. Right, you guys have given 53% went for a score of 8 for Sadio Mane, and 43% went for a score of 9. So Sadio gets an 8 from you guys. Now we move on to Bobby Firmino, ladies and gentlemen. And this feels very, very difficult. Bobby Firmino not getting man of the match after scoring a hat-trick just feels like it's all kinds of wrong, because people often criticise Bobby Firmino as not a natural goal scorer. I challenge you to look back at those 3 goals today and tell me that Bobby Firmino doesn't have the instincts of a natural goal scorer. We know what Bobby's about. We know he's a pressing machine. We know he tries the flicks. We know he plays with a smile on his face. We know he does the unexpected at times, but we always credit him for his work ethic, which is second to none. But today, every single one of those goals came about because of a forward's killer instinct. Got in on top of every single one of them, timed his runs to perfection, got there, and they look like tap-ins. They look like they were easy goals, but they're only easy goals because he read the build-up play. Look at the one from Ben Foster, the one that Ben Foster palmed out. It was a ball played in behind looking for Mohamed Salah. Watford defender threw his leg out, and all Ben Foster could do was palm it. But who did he palm it into the path of? Bobby Firmino, because he followed in. So Bobby Firmino, to me, 9 out of 10 today. That was as close to a man of the match performance without getting voted for man of the match as I could possibly give. So for me, Bobby Firmino gets a 9 out of 10 today. And look, I'm looking at the live vote right now, and it's going to be no surprise when you guys see the result in a second. Most of the Anfield agenda chat, and I mean most, because this is an absolute landslide here, is going to give Bobby Firmino a similar score. And then we move on to King Mo, Mr. Contract, Mr. 380 grand a week, Mr. Give him whatever he wants. We'll wait for Bobby Firmino's vote to come up. Here it comes now. Bobby Firmino, ladies and gentlemen, 90%. I'm going to say that again. 90% of you legends have given Bobby Firmino a score of 9 or 10 today. That's how impressed you were. And I absolutely echo every one of those sentiments. He was fantastic. Now, Mohamed Salah. We left the best to last, ladies and gentlemen. And what do you talk about when you talk about Mo? We seen the last goal that he scored against Manchester City, and we thought, wow, we may never see a goal like that again. Little did we know. Bring on Watford. First game after the international break. To me, wasn't quite as good as the goal against Manchester City, but it was still all kinds of beautiful. Again, it had the little drag back. Defenders on their arse. It had everything. And, most importantly, the calm, composed, calculated finish of a footballer who was in the prime of his career, who was enjoying it, who looks an absolute physical specimen. And again, I challenge anybody who talks about Mohamed Salah's contract situation to look at Mo right now and tell me that that is not a gentleman that's playing with confidence, with the backing of his teammates and his manager, the fan base, and knows that he is in a special moment in his career. Look, I don't do 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen, I never will, but I'm giving him a 9.5 out of 10 today for that performance, because Mohamed Salah, I keep talking about it, 30 records broken already at Liverpool, and he's not even finished his Liverpool career yet. He probably, hopefully, has another 3, 4 or 5 years to go. We will look back at Mohamed Salah's time at this football club. We will talk to our kids about it. We will talk to our grandkids about it. And we will talk about this absolute superstar that came in, nicknamed the Egyptian Messi. Well, I'm telling you what, he is living up to that. I remember talking to a taxi driver in Turkey 5 years ago, and Mohamed Salah's name came up when he was first linked with Liverpool. And I didn't know too much about him. Started watching him. Obviously he did really well in Italy with Fiorentina and Roma, but who would have known when we signed him for the fee that we signed him for that we were going to have right now, and I'm talking about right now, in my opinion, the best football player in the world, bar none, in form right now. I'm not saying he's better than Messi. I'm not saying he's better than Ronaldo. But what I'm saying is, right now, Robert Lewandowski, Karim Benzema, Haaland, Mohamed Salah, they are right at the pinnacle of the game. They are right at the top of their level. I fucking love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. And I know you guys do as well. I'm blown away. I'm blown away, and I'm trying to take in every performance, and I'm trying to not take him for granted, because this isn't normal. What we're seeing this man do is not normal. We are being spoiled at the minute, and I think it's just a matter of time till the ink is on that contract, and we're talking about Mohamed Salah having another 3, 4, 5 years at the football club, because he is a god here, and he will be worshipped as a god, and rightly so, because he's doing what seems impossible at times, and he's making it look easy. He's doing it with a smile on his face, and he's, you know, we often have conversations around, is he too selfish? Even this season we can talk about that and throw it in the bin, because Mohamed Salah has been entirely unselfish. He has been very, very good to his teammates. His assists gone through the roof this season as well. Right now sits atop of the goal scoring charts with 7 Premier League goals, and again, who bet against them adding another goal to his tally in the Champions League on Tuesday night when we play away against Atletico Madrid. So there you go, Mohamed Salah. 96% of the Anfield agenda audience have given Mohamed Salah a score of 9 or 10 today. 96%. I don't think I've ever seen it that high. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring our post-match reaction show to a close, but don't go anywhere, because in 7 minutes I will be back with Paddy Murphy and Chris Stonage from LFC Transfer Room, and we're going to have a fan reaction to this game. I know you guys are going to go watch the 3 p.m. kickoff, but don't go anywhere. Join me back in 5 minutes for the match reaction show. Myself, Paddy Murphy and Chris Stonage. Don't forget, we have been proudly brought to you today with thanks to our friends at Surfshark. You can get 83% off and 3 months free by clicking the link in the description below and using the code AnfieldAgenda at checkout. You can access the world's largest Netflix libraries, including the USA and Japan, and have industry-leading measures of uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. You often ask me how I watch games that aren't on TV. I use Surfshark, ladies and gentlemen, quite simply. Look, I'm going to go off and grab a quick toilet break before we come into the match reaction with Paddy and Chris. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Drop a like on the video. Don't go anywhere. 5 minutes. See you soon.